The lesson.
Oh, yeah.
You know, in SA, people really who were watching hoops back then really remember Darnell Mee, Kevin Brooks. Even me, that was a thing. Yeah. And I don't know if you remember, man, but there was a club called Aquarium back in the day.
I know Aquarium, man. Bringing back some old memories.
Yeah,
I think a cat had hair on his head back then,
man. Because my older sister at the time, she was old enough to go to them spots, but I was still under 18, so I couldn't go. But she used to let me know about this this club Aquarium.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, did Al or yourself have something to do in the running of the venue or something like that?
We helped with some promotion from time to time and all the rest of it. But yeah, the day-to-day stuff, that was up to them.
Yeah. And I remember she used to say, you know, the Sixers guys would always be down there. Yeah. And that whole you know, that whole era was like a thing. I mean, as someone who got to, you know, be in the same locker room and court with those guys, I mean, how was it like working with those two guys?
Hey, you know what, man? They was absolutely fantastic cats to work with, man. You know, they came in and, you know, they had a hunger for winning. You know what I mean? And Darnell was, like, you know, a silent assassin, man, because he was one of them cats, man, never used to say too much, man. But he get out there in the court, man, and it's like, ready to put you to sleep, man. So, and KB and all the rest of it, KB was just a real smooth sort of finesse sort of guy, man, who can do multiple different things out there on the floor because he's so big. So he used to cause a lot of matchup problems with a lot of teams, man, because he's like 6'8", 6'9", can shoot the three, can break you down on the dribble. You know what I mean?
That's a tough day.
Yeah, that was a tough ask for a lot of teams to deal with when KB first came in.
So then when you first retired, did you still sort of have some sort of role with the Sixers club?
So after I retired my first year, that following year, I went in as the marketing executive for the club, and I was the marketing executive for 5 years.
Yeah, so you were still quite close.
Yeah.
And then, so I think when the Sixers won the championship with Willie Farley, so the first year that you had retired, have the Sixers won a championship since?
Unfortunately not, man.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I was to say yes, but unfortunately
another long break between drinks.
You know, Joey and all the rest of it, I think since Joey's been here, he's given them a lot of life or opportunities to get there, you know, just unfortunately, you know, just fell short on a couple occasions, you know. So, unfortunately, we haven't been able to bring it home since then, man. So, you know.
Yeah, man. I mean,
was knocking on the door, ain't nobody been answering.
Well, I think like the Sixers have in recent times made the grand final.
Yes.
Like a couple of times at least.
Yeah. And there was one game off the year when Jerome Randle was here. From going to the grand final, they lost that third game against who? Wollongong, that team again. All right,
nightmares and shit.
Yeah, lost to those guys, and I thought, in all honesty, that was truly their year to get it done. But even last year's team, I think Joey did a great job, and all the rest of it, of reassembling and readjusting his roster to give himself a great chance to get it done with these guys, and I thought he recruited very, very well. And unfortunately, they ran against a tough team, Melbourne, who got hot in game 3. So,
yeah, man. Yeah. I really thought Sixers had it last season, man. Like going into it.
Yeah, exactly right. They had a lot of momentum going in there. They felt good because that was the first time they beat Melbourne when they beat them here.
Yeah, man.
And so they beat them at the right time. So psychologically now they, you know, got past that hump, man. And, just so unfortunate, man, you know. And I know that's the kind of stuff, I guess, as a coach, player, and all the rest of it, man. You remember that stuff for the rest of your life, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned Jerome Randall.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he hasn't been, or he wasn't with the Sixers. I mean, he's not with the Sixers anymore.
Yep.
But he did 2-3 seasons.
2 seasons.
So I reckon the first time I saw him must have been quite at the start.
Yeah.
And all I remember, like, shout outs to Fresh, because they got us these box seats.
Yeah.
Easy was there.
Yeah.
And I hadn't heard of him. I'd kind of was caught up with a lot of NBA.
Yeah.
You know, so I wasn't really paying too much attention at the time. And I'm just watching and I'm like, who's this dude with the handles, man? Like, this is crazy. And the first game that I saw, he had some epic, like, 30-plus point game. And I remember he had at least one play where he caught the ball, hit an off-balance three, got fouled, knocked it, went to the line. And I was like, how have I not been sleeping on this dude? This dude's deal. And then I did my research, and then I seen that he, you know, them street ball mixtapes.
That's right.
Man, when I sent that, I was like, this guy's in Adelaide?
I know, man.
This is nuts, man. Yeah. How did the, I guess, getting, you know, Jerome Randall on the team come about?
Well, Joey, you know, I think Joey, during the offseason, Joey knew he needed somebody like a go-to sort of guy and a guy who can come in and make an impact straight away, which I guess most coaches feel that they want their imports to be able to come in and do that. And he was able to secure Jerome. And, you know, I couldn't believe his handles, man. I thought he's one of the best ball handlers I've ever seen come through Australia, away from D-Mac.
He was dope too.
D-Mac, it was off the charts, man.
In his time, there was no one that even came close,
not
man.
at all, man.
When he came to the Magic, you can imagine how happy all of us were, man.
Yeah, those cats break your ankles, man.
They make you look bad, eh?
Yeah, that's right.
And then, so what was do you know, like, why? Because when he announced, or when it was announced that he wasn't coming back, you know, we're all like, why?
You know, I think a lot of people kind of felt that way, and you know, and that's the business side of things. You know, I'm sure that was something for him and Joey to negotiate and talk about, and because you know that was a great year for him as him being the MVP of the league. And leaving a team after becoming the MVP.
Yeah.
Joey won the Coach of the Year, so both of those guys was quite acknowledged for the work that they done that year, man. And unfortunately, and all the rest of it, man, it's like, you know.
Yeah, it's just the business side of things. It just can't quite work it out. Yeah, that's unfortunate, man.
That's, you know.
That's professional sports, though, isn't it?
Isn't it, man?
And I think it's something that's interesting because the fans don't, you know, they're not privileged to any of that. Yeah. They just see someone doing really well. Yeah. So then when they go, like, how could you let this guy go?
That's right. Right.
And another, you know, recent import that had a big impact was Ferguson.
Yes.
Who's now playing.
Athlete.
Yeah, he's now playing. Yeah, with
OKC.
Which is crazy, man.
Russell.
I heard when he was going to the Sixers, you'd remember, man, I think he had that epic dunk. Yeah. Like, everybody remembers that dunk, man. It was huge. And then I remembered, like, they're talking about he's going to NBA. Yeah. I didn't know he was going to OKC. Yeah. That's crazy, man.
I think the whole time he was over here, I think he was on their radar. So.
Yeah.
And they monitor, and when the scouts monitor and they got you on the radar, man, they follow you straight through to see how you go. And he, you know, when it come down to his athleticism, the way he plays, and all the rest of it, guys like that, they in the open court, they can do some things. If you're a player who got decent athletes, you can create your own shot in open court. It's the way they play the game now. You know, if you notice, even now, the game has evolved so much now. Yeah, man. You rarely see a big guy playing with his back to the basket. All the 5 men now, they square up on you. And they space you all over the floor, man. So that's how the game has evolved. So you won't find the Shaq. Like, Shaq couldn't last in the league now simply because of how he played the game. Not because he ain't good enough to play. It's just how he plays the game. Because all the 5 men now, they actually come out and they all play. They go 5 out on you and space you, and that's why, you know, you look at teams like Golden State, man. Jeez,
fuck, man,
they're so hard to defend, man, because they constantly moving. They space you over the floor, and they got shooters there.
That shit ain't fair, man.
I know, man. I know.
It was like watching LeBron versus the Warriors.
Isn't it, man?
Yeah, man.
And you know, I looked at, I said to myself after game 2, I said, LeBron has to get a win, or is he gonna get tired, man? You know, win's the only thing to keep that energy flowing a little bit when you're tired, man. But when you lose and you're tired, that's not a good mix. And I think they just wore him down, man. They just wore him down where, you know, if you look at game by game, his impact on the game became less and less. He was still doing his business, and by anybody's standard, you know, they say, what a great game. But he needed to have a superhuman effort.
Yeah.
And I think that, you see the first game with J.R. Smith?
I was just about to ask you
that,
man.
He had a brain freeze, man. I don't know what dude was thinking about, man. He had a brain, and you know what? I think they all broke down psychologically after that. That's why they got blown out in the overtime.
It's crazy, man, because that arguably that one play cost the whole series.
You know,
psychologically, it just sets you back so much.
Broke down, man. I don't think they recovered. They couldn't.
Nah, they would have just kept on thinking. Fucking hell, JR. Like,
what is he? And he just had one of those moments, man. Like, I thought the way he actually did, I said, did he think they was up by 1 or something?
I think
he ran the clock out.
Well, I think what happened was when who was it that was taking the free throws?
That was
was it Hill?
Hill, there you go.
Yeah,
he missed one.
Yes, I think I don't know, but I think that when he knocked the first one and he's tied it, JR thought they were already tied.
You're exactly right, man.
Because you look at the way that he grabbed the ball and just pushed it to the corner.
Yeah.
That's like what you get taught to do when you're up and you're just trying to milk the clock down.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it when they
LeBron,
oh man, when they slow-moed it.
LeBron was like, what are you doing, man?
And then he just turns away and shit. Yeah, dude.
That was crazy, man.
That was hard to watch, and I'm not even a Cleveland fan, but with the internet, man, it's hard being a professional athlete because you make one mistake now and you get memed worldwide.
Exactly
and like
right.
I remember when JR first came into the league, I just liked his game and his style and his flavor and his attitude and everything. And when that happened, it kind of felt, I was like, man, I feel like I'm one of the very few that feels bad for this dude. Because I'm like, you would just be kicking yourself, man.
That's, and you know, also too, you know what even compounded that problem? When you get swept at home for the money, like if someone told me that was going to happen, I said Golden State going to beat them over a series.
4-1.
Someone told me that they would get swept at home because I said to myself, LeBron probably, just his pride alone, his will would put
1 or 2 wins on the board. Yeah.
But, you know, after that, to lose, number one, like that at home, getting swept, because your last thing you want to do is lose on your home ground, getting swept, man. You're like, if I'm going to lose this thing, I'm losing in Golden State, man. Right?
Yeah, man.
I ain't losing at home, man. And I think the J.R. Smith thing, they're going to review that thing over and over again, man. And it seems like it just rings even louder now because people always look for, how did we lose that? Well, let's go back to that first game. And that's exactly what's going to happen, man.
Yeah, man. I hope that, he's actually like mentally recovers from that.
Yeah.
Because that would really,
no question.
That's the big stage. That's like as big of a moment as you get. It's one thing to have the ball in your hands with the game on the line and you miss.
Yeah.
At least you get the shot up.
Yeah.
He could have just
You know what, man? And he was right there. He could have just
right there. Man. He could have caught it and put it up before he even landed back on the ground.
And the thing is, I kind of feel because I said, look, I can't jump into the brother's head, but I did like this. I said, you know what, man? Him just thinking like, and then he look at your teammates because that would probably hurt the most to see, because no one wants to you never in team sports, you never want to let your teammates down. You know what I mean? And I think, in the back of his own mind, he's like, man, I effed up, man. I effed up.
There's no way that wouldn't there's no way that wouldn't have affected at least his game for the rest of that season.
Correct.
He would have been shook every shot he took. I reckon he would have just been like, I better not fuck this up. I better not fuck this up.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see what the coach and the crew had to say. Yeah. I reckon, man, they would have just tried to just move on from it, man, because what else are you going to do?
I hope so. I mean, at the end of the day, but the media, man.
Yeah, man.
The media would be
ruthless,
dude.
And then you got the internet.
Yes, and the internet.
And you don't even just have like picture memes now. You got the video memes.
Yes, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel for the cat, man. You know what I mean? And it can happen to anybody, man. You can have that moment where you just lose focus
for 2 seconds.
Yes.
Like,
and you're just like, what in the world was I thinking? What in the world?
The lesson. Oh, yeah.